find out part.
Hell yeah.
I'm going, hi everybody, I'm syncing for Brian. This is for you, Brian. Here's a clap. There you go.
Wait, do I have to press the record, don't I, for the...
Yeah.
Fuck, hold on, let me bring it back up. I stopped it because it was just like...
Just recording. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I wasn't recording. Now I am. Okay, why aren't you playing? There we go.
Fantastic.
I think it's good. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, if you see that spike, we're all good. All right.
Hell yeah. Sounds sexy. What?
I'm flustered.
We sound
apparently.
sexy. Oh my god.
I was gonna tweet, but I literally just used our Twitter for Taylor Swift's album last night, so I'm just not gonna tweet it yet. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I drank half of a protein shake and I can feel my throat seizing up, but other than that...
I don't know what that means, and also it's scary because you're not close.
It's not actually like seizing up. Like what's going on is, I think it's like too much protein and dairy all at once because I used here's fucking personal trainer health nut. I like to have protein. I like to have a lot of protein. You know, you need protein in your diet to live. It's good for you.
I'm learning. Okay, gains.
It needs, you know, it needs that protein to keep going.
Yeah. Gains.
I think people are just surprised, by the way, when they hear my voice. And they don't hear a deep voice. Because they see tall ass 6'3" muscular person. They're like, oh, okay. Hear me. It's not what I was expecting.
Always bending gender norms.
Hell yeah. Second, I could be a buff bodybuilding beautiful boy, and then next be tall, strong bitch and 6-inch heels. Yeah. I think that was a haiku.
Yeah, I was counting your syllables for a second.
But next I could be in 6-inch heels with a slit skirt and a bra and big, beautiful, luscious boobs.
Big, beautiful, luscious boobies. Something we all, regardless of gender, wish to have some big, beautiful, luscious boobies.
Kind of, except for the background.
Oof.
Beyonce had, like, I think she said it was like, G's. She was like, oh, my back.
Laura Croft boob problems, right?
Yeah, except they're not as pointy.
It's true. No offense to your fiance. It's not pixelated, man.
Oh.
Don't know what to tell you.
I knew there was something that, like, I didn't think about. She's not pixely enough.
The standards for female bodies nowadays, if you're not a pixel, it's not worth it.
Yeah, if you ain't Final Fantasy VII Tifa going on here, I don't know what you're doing.
Ain't it? Alright, so
I'm
welcome.
more of a Cloud person myself, anyway.
Cloud has the big sword?
Yeah, he's the blonde boy. He also goes in a dress and looks cute as hell.
Welcome to the first episode of Queerdos. And on that note, first official episode of Queerdos.
Yeah.
Wow, it is Friday.
Never gonna see zero.
Never. It is Friday, not Monday, because Harry had boss day. Right? You had to work on boss's day.
You wanna know what's funny too? It wasn't that busy.
So ultimately, boss's day, homophobic. You heard it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna gripe really fast, just to open this podcast up.
Please.
Boss's Day is like Mother's Day to Father's Day.
Okay. I'm here. I'm listening.
everybody buys everything for the boss. It's super busy. It's busier. But then there's Admin's Day, which is just usually just for like the workers.
Right.
Like that. Can you guess how not busy it is on Admin's Day?
There's not even an admin on Admin's Day.
Right.
That's my guess.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's like everybody's trying to suck up to the boss, but like
Nobody ever sucks up to the admin.
Well, what's funny is like it started before COVID and everything, the restrictions. I just realized we might get demonetized on YouTube because I said COVID, but whatever. It was super busy, and then COVID hit, and afterwards, it's like a lot slower. And I feel it's just because everybody's like, "Fuck my boss."
Actually, I hate them. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna suck up to you, asshole. Suck up to me.
Yeah, Queerdos. We're Peach is barking.
Welcome to the podcast.
And we're the boss.
Yeah, and my washer was doing a little jingle.
I think I wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly. Chaos incarnate. I love it. There's not a bunch of stacks of paper behind my head. I love it.
It's clear. It's clear.
Mm-hmm.
I put
clear, clean, beautiful.
My college tassel thing up. So welcome to episode 1 of Queerdos. We're going to talk about the history of National Coming Out Day, some of our coming out stories, and some, like, the weird fascination the internet has with coming out. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm Emma. I go by she, they pronouns.
Hello.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure. And that's Harry.
Charmed, I'm sure.
That's Harry. Not to take their pronouns out of their mouth, but it is a they-them day for Harry. And this is
I'm very quiet, they said.
I turned you up. You were loud as hell in my ears, so I assumed you were loud as hell for them. But
what about now?
I'm just a sensitive little baby, actually.
Yeah.
So welcome to Queerdos, a visual and audio podcast where we talk about being queer then and now. And before we get started, Harry makes dice. So go to Huey's Dice.
And I'm going to show them off really quick, actually.
Harry's going to get the dice. What we are thinking of doing is getting a D20 questions. Maybe we start the podcast with Peach yelling and with rolling for questions. Let me see if I can get this dog to be quiet. This is why... Sorry, Brian. You're the audio guy. Before this goes on Spotify, we're going to send our audios to Brian, and hopefully he'll fix it. Peach?
Yeah, sorry, Brian.
What the fuck? Peach is my dog, for those of you listening, and she's loud. I'm going to close the door. I thought the squirrels would be at bay. Not to be.
No. Where the fuck? Where's all of my stuff?
No. I gotta go to work.
I better work, bitch.
I'm back.
So I can't seem to find my earrings, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna just show you a D4 because I can.
Please.
For anybody who doesn't play D&D, this is a D4.
It is a triangle.
Yes. Except 3D, so it's a...
Oh, a prism. A prism, right?
Yeah.
I barely passed.
I don't know my geography very well.
That's because geography is location. Geometry.
See, I told you I wasn't very good at geography very well.
Harry's the pretty one. I'm the smart one.
Yeah. Hi.
And for
if that's the case, we're fucked.
We're so fucked. For those of you who are listening, check out our Instagram at Queerdos Podcast, where you'll be able to see the D4. It was multicolored. Does it have a name?
That's the Cosmic Bliss.
Cosmic Bliss. Beautiful, beautiful dice.
And I will tell you right now, at some point, I will have a coupon code that we will share on the podcast every week.
Ooh, spicy.
For you lovely viewers, because I love you.
Because we all deserve to roll with it.
Exactly.
It's a dice joke, everybody. So we are recording on the 21st of October, but the 11th of October was National Coming Out Day.
Mm-hmm.
We're both out already.
I'm very out. And about.
Yeah.
I'm like a gazelle.
But for those of you deep in the closet, trying to come out of the closet, been out for years, came out on the 11th. We support you. We see you. Proud of you.
Yeah.
Got a
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congrats for being
Fucking hard,
you.
man.
It sucks to have to declare yourself to the world. Hopefully we won't one day. But for now, it's a good celebration of us.
Yeah.
I didn't post anything.
I didn't realize it was that until the day of.
Yeah, I didn't post anything. Didn't kiss any women. I feel like I failed National Coming Out Day.
I kissed a woman, but I mean, I'm straight passing, so it's like, whatever.
Okay. I know, it's another thing, having to come out when you're in a straight passing relationship.
Which we'll talk about more.
Yeah.
Right here on Queerdos Podcast.
So, I wrote some stuff. Harry watched some videos. I read a Wikipedia article. And I'm going to tell you about National Coming Out Day. It's abbreviated to INCOD, which I think is a terrible abbreviation, personally.
It very much is.
Yeah, not rolling off the tongue. But to quote Wikipedia, it's the annual LGBTQIA Awareness Day to celebrate coming out of the closet. I didn't even think to look up what that means. Like, where did coming out of the closet originate from?
I thought it was always like just because gay people are usually very fashionable, and so it's like, but you had to like put your stuff in the closet so you weren't so fashionable. But then when you came out, you can just wear what you wanted to wear in the closet that you enjoy the clothes you're wearing. If that makes sense at all.
Hey Peach, you're being homophobic. So this Time article says that before World War II, an elite group of gay men came out at drag balls modeled after the debutante balls. So coming out was like a display of gayness, like an actual thing. The coming out of debutantes into homosexual society. Says 1931's Baltimore Afro-American article.
Why closet
then? Unclear.
I was like, I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, I think your like hidden away assumption is probably correct.
Maybe it's like skeletons in your closet.
Ooh.
Kind of an idea, you know?
Totally possible. Yeah, it does. It says it's a combination. The Week article says that it is a combination of like you said, skeletons in the closet and like announcing your queerness. So good job.
I love it.
You've gotten a point at trivia.
Hell yeah.
So it was first celebrated in 1988, which was not long ago.
No.
34 years, I believe. That's
I weirdly
absurd.
I thought it was either very new, like 2000s, or like long before that, like in the 70s or 60s.
Sure. No. Straight in the late 80s.
Like when I learned about it, it threw me off.
I completely agree. It's very, I don't even know if humbling is the word, but like almost scary to realize how recent something like this is. Because for me, as like a young queer, National Coming Out Day, it doesn't feel like anything. I don't know if you feel similarly. To me, I thought it was like kind of like a Hallmark holiday. Like you get a card.
Yeah, well,
It's like
it's not like.
a card that looks
I
like
mean,
a closet. It says
it's almost weirdly not a. It's not like. It's not like Pride Day, because you would think it would be like a Hallmark holiday, but like, there's not really anybody selling stuff on the day.
right.
So I'd like to think it's like Pride Month, but like not heavily monetized.
Well, so April is April. Is April Pride Month?
Believe so. We're bad gays.
I'm such a bad gay.
Great.
for-
Oh,
I-
you're looking it up. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I got
looking
you.
it up for sure. Well, I just took this, yeah, what the hell? It's June. I looked at this article and it said April, and I was like, wait a second, no, it's fucking
That's
not.
not right.
No, it's fucking not. Yeah, June is Pride. I was like,
Hell yeah.
excuse me, it's not April. June is Pride Month. I don't know where. I should cite my sources.
You
being
go from
incorrect.
Pride Month to
Independence Day.
Christmas in July. What a weird, in between.
Yeah, so June is Pride Month. October is LGBT plus History Month.
Thanks, Sam.
I do like that we
All
have
right.
two ends of the year. I appreciate.
We have a
that.
little thing going on. Yeah.
We get 2 months.
You're
to be
kidding. You're
queer.
cutting off a little bit, by the way. I don't know why.
I am. It's Peach.
For me, on Discord at least.
Stop.
Not just like maybe all the other stuff that's going on my computer is like no.
Inaugural episode doesn't have to be a clean cut one. You know, we're
No.
experimenting with new programs, new stuff today. And I'm gonna get a new dog.
Poor baby.
Come here, Peach. There's a squirrel.
Sad baby.
She has a hard time existing. As
get it.
do I.
Yeah. Existence is pain, but it's less painful.
So like I
It's like
said,
beauty.
in COD, terrible abbreviation. I'm gonna throw this pen at my dog.
It sounds like a military thing.
It does. It's an emphasis on the most basic form of activism, being coming out to those in your circle. It's the idea if you know a gay, gays aren't scary. But if you don't, we're like horrifying mummy vampires.
Wow, I think that doesn't have anything to do with gay. I think that's just like...
Yeah, it's the fear of the unknown sort of thing. And frankly, if I saw a mummy vampire, I would cry.
And I would be horny. But that's just me.
It's not fight or flight. It's
Fight or fuck.
fight or fuck or flight. Oh, no.
Yeah, fuck or flight. Either one's for you.
Oh no, it would be a good pin.
Thanks for the idea. You know what? I need to write that down. I'll put it in my shop. At hueysdice.com. That is, by the way.
hueysdice.com.
Just for, you know.
The founders thought that homophobia thrives in silence and ignorance. Without example, people are more likely to fear the unknown. And those founders are Dr. Robert Eichberg and Jean O'Leary. I did minor research into these two people because I'm bad at research. But Eichberg was a psychologist from New Mexico who founded the personal growth workshop The Experience and died from complications from AIDS in 1955, so only got to see his baby for 7 years. O'Leary also passed, I believe in 2008, don't quote me, I'm wrong, She was an openly lesbian political leader from New York and was at the time the head of the National Gay Rights Advocates in Los Angeles. And they didn't want to respond defensively to anti-LGBT action, so they created a positive action coming out.
Yeah, I love that. That's kind of because I have a problem with thinking in big picture, and
Sure.
especially when you look at the news, it makes the country look so much smaller than it actually is.
Again, they're both should bi-coastal legend, New York to LA.
Hey, honestly,
And this year, we are late. It's National Coming Out Day, but we're here. It was the last
it's
day
never
to
too late
register.
to come out.
Yeah, it's never.
Yeah,
That was good.
thank you. I try.
It was the last day to register to vote in 12 states. So this year,
Yes.
GLAAD,
Including here.
a big LGBT organization, they made the theme this year coming out to vote.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
our
forgot
rights,
about that actually.
not real. Trying to take them away. So if you are in America, please vote. And if you do,
Please.
You can come to my gay wedding. And if you want to be the bride, you can also come. I don't have one yet.
Here's her complete phone number for you to call or text.
Yeah,
It's
901 desperate.
Yeah. Not even a full phone number. Wait,
DES.
actually it is. No, I think it's one extra.
One extra. Shame.
One extra number.
I will. I'll work on. Maybe that can be the Queerdos call-in line.
Oh God, no.
Gay and desperate.
Yeah. Where you too can hit on the stars of the Queerdos podcast. It's all just gonna end up being Ev
It's Ev. It's Ev wanting
hitting
attention.
on us. Yeah. But in like the worst or best way possible.
Always. No, it'd just be Ev calling to be like, "Hey, so I was watching Shrek, and this is what I thought." Ev being a dear friend to the show.
Yes, she's amazing. I've only known her for a short time, but I love her.
And so, with National Coming Out Day, I wanted to talk a little bit briefly before we move on to like our coming out stories and coming out in general. Do you know what GLSEN is? Because I was a part of GLSEN in high school, which is probably an indicator of me I probably should have realized I was queer earlier. But GLSEN is the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. We had a GLSEN club. And GLSEN had Day of Silence. And GLSEN also hosts something we talked a little bit before the podcast about, Ally Week.
Yeah, which is weird to me, but whatever.
It's so weird. It happens over the course. It includes National Coming Out Day, but it's we didn't have it at our school. I don't super understand if it's celebrating allies, but I think it's encouraging allies to come out as allies during the week.
I mean, so we didn't have that because, I mean, I don't know if we said it. I'm from Texas, so you could imagine how queer-friendly this place is. Yeah.
The silence was deafening.
Texas is... Majority is If you're in a big city, usually you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to small towns. That's all I'm going to say.
I think that's a generalizing.
Yeah, I'm
not too
afraid
great
of
in
small
Tennessee
towns
either.
usually. Like small towns. But we didn't have that My dad, on the other hand, had a boss a while ago who was lesbian, got married and everything, like the first year that it was allowed and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, and yeah, as she explained before I even knew I was queer, that, here's what was it? It was safety pins for us, I believe, to
Okay.
show if you're an ally. And you can also get, and I don't know if you had this over here too, certified as an ally. You can get a certificate of being an ally,
That feels
which I
like
thought at the time
a
was really dumb, but
feels like a junior deputy. Like
it kind of is.
a certified
It,
ally?
yeah, it's like, here is the certificate bestowed upon name of person. Like, it was in bold and everything like that,
For
and you could
not
print it
being
out and put it on your
homophobic.
wall, right?
Okay.
I just, I think it's funny, but
Uh,
whatever makes people want to be allies more,
sure. If you need a piece of
it's there.
paper saying Queerdos ally, I can do that for you.
Yeah, we'll make that for you, I guess.
We'll hand make you an ally certificate. Should we
Don't
get
judge our handwriting, though.
should we do certified queers? Like another good pin idea.
Oh,
I'm rolling
I'm down
today.
for that. And if we can have a it be endorsed by a drag queen,
Ooh,
great.
oof.
Or
I
king.
or king. Uh,
We'll reach out to Candida and ask if
absolutely.
she has any recommendations.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I know any drag people personally. Candida says drag and burlesque overlap pretty easily. Candida Valentina being our
Yeah,
they them burlesque friend that
they
we
are
met.
amazing. Person of color,
Mother.
MILF. Am I allowed to say that?
On this episode of Queerdos, Harry's fucking horny. Um so
I'm gay. What do you expect from me?
um Glisten,
She's just beautiful,
she is so
or they're
beautiful.
beautiful, is what I'm saying.
They are
Yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful. Um Glisten also hosted Day of Silence. Have you ever heard of that? That I participated in.
No, we didn't have that over here. I don't believe so.
So, Day of Silence, it was bizarre because you had to sign up for Day of Silence before Day of Silence, and then teachers would send out, or like the head of the program would send out like an email list to teachers being like, hey, these people aren't gonna talk today.
Hmm.
And I really haven't thought about it too much. I kind of forgot about it. And what is burlesque? Ooh.
Oh yeah, I was about to say this is my friend Sam, by the way, who's talking.
Hi, Sam.
He's my certified ally.
Yay! um, what is burlesque? It is a
Burlesque is
performance
like,
art?
yeah, it's kind of like a strip show, but it's not like it's not like you're at a club. I would say it's, yeah, more of a performance art kind of thing.
Right.
Like when we were at Klexicon,
Mhm.
the way they did it was they dressed up in cosplay and then did a show
Stripped down to
and would
their
like,
nipple tassels. I wanted to say
yep,
nassels. Um,
nassels.
nassels. It's
Oh, a bunch of nassels.
lip syncing and costumes. If you haven't been to a burlesque show, it's kind of it's like nothing else. Truly,
I do have
truly unique
videos of the
experience.
burlesque like performers. So like if you ever want to see it, Sam, I'll show you and you can see it. But like it was hosted by a drag king who was in a cowboy who had
Kimber
Christmas lights
Springs.
going down his chaps.
Kimber Springs, fellow
Mhm.
Tennessean.
Love him. Oh, that makes sense. I forgot he was they were Tennessean. That's why they were a
Tennessee.
cowboy. Fill them up in more facts because I have to pee really quick. Don't hate me.
That's fine. It's the Emma show.
for having a small bladder.
Harry is 6'3" with the bladder of a small chihuahua. So yeah, Day of Silence. I participated, I believe, all 4 years in high school. It was, you just were quiet all day. To show allegiance to those who had been silenced before. Because it is so common, unfortunately, tragically, the violence against queers is so common and forthright. So many of our older family, our older queer family, not around anymore. For various reasons. And I liked Day of Silence. In retrospect, some teachers always had tests on Day of Silence, and they said it was to be supportive. But now I feel like I'm not sure if that's supportive or not. I would have to think about that more. I was thinking about how we could celebrate Day of Silence on the podcast, and frankly, I don't think we can.
A toast.
A toast. I saw Harry pouring champagne.
Yeah.
Here's my...
I was like, oh wait, I got champagne. This could be a toast.
A toast.
In my fancy-ass
to our
champagne
queer
glass.
family. I don't think silence and podcast go together. It's a good point.
And if you're
It's a
like
good point.
ADHD, silence is not.
It's
Wait. Moment of silence. Okay, keep going.
How long is a moment?
It's however long you want it to be, I think.
So, that's pretty much all I had.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I had in terms of the research of National Coming Out Day, but I did want to acknowledge it because it served way to what we're going to talk about more today, as if we haven't already been talking for half an hour.
Have we really?
Of course. Time flies when I'm with you.
I know. We talk a lot.
In a fantastic and also terrifying way. So, how would you like to start, Harry? I'll give you the floor. I wrote some stuff down about. We can talk about our coming out stories. We can talk about the internet's obsession with coming out stories. Where would you like to start?
Well, first I just want to, and you'll learn about. This is just about the podcast, not like that in general. But you'll learn I'm. The people that we are, I'm much more brash, and I don't have a much of a filter. So if there are ever times that I say really gross, maybe like jokes or something like that, just tell me to shut up. I was about to say something about me being in the bathroom, but I was like, I don't think.
Look at
I don't
you.
think the podcast.
Filter
I know,
on the mic.
growing
Filter on the Harry. Yeah, I mean, this is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say I had a moment when I was streaming with my other friend when I was streaming with her that we were still streaming and we both went to the bathroom in the same bathroom at the same time and told the stream about it. So
Sure.
she got the toilet, I got the tub, so.
And on that note.
Yeah. All right. To move on, I think what's a good start is, just when we started, what like our story, I guess, like
Sure.
how when we first came out, and then if we have multiple coming out stories, because when you come out once, you just can't do it only once.
That's what I keep hearing is we're coming out for the rest of our lives. because there's never a point where everybody knows. And I wish it was as casual as, like, I don't like the color pink very much, you know? It's like, I'll date whoever. I don't like pink. Like, it's a weird, like, necessity. And I'm so lucky I live in Los Angeles that coming out has never been a fear. But I'll talk about my first real coming out story, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was we did an episode 0 to test things out, see how the conversation flowed, and I mentioned the first person to make me not want to be a hetero was this little scientist.
That's that's what it should be called. This, like, not wanting to be a hetero day.
I just didn't want to do it anymore. This scientist coworker when I was an RA in college, who I just thought was absolutely stunning. I'm confident it must have been after some libations, but we were Snapchatting, and I said something like, just to clarify, I'm flirting with you. And then we were dating for a little bit, but she was seeing a lot of other people, which is fine. We were, like, super long distance. But then I started dating someone close, too, because I was like, it was petty. Straight up. Like, it was... Sure. But, like, yeah. I liked him. I liked her more.
At this point?
Oh, boy. This was, like, last year, so...
Oh, I thought this was like, it was like 2021. We're both 26, by the way. Nobody knows.
25, I must have been. 25, 24, 25? No, it would have been 2021. Yeah, so I guess I was just, last year. 25. And I was complaining about her to my sister. It was Mother's Day. We were doing a video call, and both of my parents had to go to the bathroom, so it was just me and my sister talking for a little bit. And I was talking about, like, I almost name dropped her. I really like this girl. Like, I like the guy, but, like, you know, it's like, I really like her, but she's not, like, I don't know. I was like, I can't tell if she likes me. Like, I feel like it's complicated. And then my dad came back, and I was like, Dad, I can't talk right now. I'm talking about this girl that I'm dating. And my dad just went like silence, like taken aback, and he was just sitting there listening to me, because I am not open with my family at all. Very, very complicated series of relationships there. But, yeah, so he was taken aback, and then Sharon came back. Sharon's my mom. And she was like, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And my dad was like, so we'll love you regardless of who you date? He was more surprised that I was dating 2 people at once. Bear in mind, I had been dating both of them for, like, a month. It wasn't, like, years into it. It was just, like, I'm trying to figure out what to do, and, so, yeah. I guess I have
a similar idea with that one, yeah.
Yeah, in a way, I'm lucky, because it wasn't dramatic, it wasn't life-changing. It was just,
it's just the
complaining.
It's just the most, like, sitcom way of it happening.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have these dramatic, intense coming out stories, and I'm so sorry to people who have bad coming out experiences, but mine was just like, bro, this girl is being really difficult, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, shut up. I'm talking to my sister about me being gay. Just in the camera.
Because I was dating a guy and a girl at the time. So I don't know. I think it was a combination of them being surprised that I was dating anybody, combined with dating two people, combined with it being a guy and a girl. It was just, that's how I came out, I guess.
I think it's sad that you're surprised that you think they were surprised that you're dating anybody at all.
Yeah, I think that was the real one.
Oh,
I have such a terrible track record of the people I've dated. My favorite quote and the most humbling quote ever was from a therapist. And they were like, I was talking about my ex, my most recent ex, who I had to come out again because she's a woman. And so I was like, oh, I'm dating this one. It's neither of the people I was talking about before. And my therapist was like, listen to me talk about her. And they were like, have you ever considered dating someone with empathy? I was like, oh no.
Surprisingly hard to find.
My therapist just asked me if I've ever dated someone nice before.
Wow.
So that's that's one of my coming out stories. What about you?
Well, I'll preface this by saying I think I was a serial dater, at least in high school, because I think by the time I graduated, I had 7 or 8 girlfriends throughout the whole time, which I thought was normal. But then talking to my friends and everybody else that I went to high school with, they were like, yeah, no, I only dated like 1 or 2 people. I was like, oh, whoop. And so like I am very much also other than one, I was always the one being broken up with. And they were always like, I was so, yeah. Yeah. I was like, I was always just scared to do it because you were such a nice person, but like, you're just not a right fit for me. I'm like, fuck.
I wish we had met later. I've gotten, what did my last ex say?
Oh no.
I can't believe you're so kind after I broke up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right place, wrong, or right person, wrong time. I've gotten that twice. But,
damn.
Dude.
The only time... Oh, go ahead.
I might have been good for them. They were not good for me. Like...
Yeah, I think it was good, but you're probably like me where it was hard to break up because you're like, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings.
For me, it was always... They're gonna prove me wrong. Like, I can see that they're not good, but, like, they said they're gonna do this, and then they don't.
Yeah, if I just fix them...
So after your 7 girlfriends in high school, how did that go?
That's the only time I ever broke up with somebody. I think I was probably I tried being nice. I have a problem with not breaking up because I don't want to... At the time, I was bad about not wanting to hurt people's feelings. I was also exactly opposite of how I am right now, and I was... as I like to explain it, when I was younger, I was like a dog with their tail between their legs all the time. I was so afraid of, like, everything. Now, it's just, like, nothing surprises me. Care too much. But at the time, yeah, I would be afraid to hurt people's feelings. I would be... Because I noticed a trend all the time, and still is a thing that I have a problem with, of I identified as a man at that time, and I was afraid to be creepy because a lot of people think men are creepy, which they are.
Because
But
men are
not all the
creepy.
time, but it's just like a lot of them can be. But at the
Men
time,
just like loom. They're just like kind of like always in the corner, just like being a little weird.
yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, yeah,
They're always there's men be sus sometimes.
it's just how it be. And I mean, if you're not that way, it's cool, good. You're sadly, I think, the minority.
Mm-hmm.
But and I had a bunch of people tell me I wasn't creepy, and I still say that. It's just like I have worry I don't want to make people uncomfortable. That's why it's hard when I want to approach a person to like ask them to want to do something with me and my fiance probably because I don't want to come off as creepy.
Like patty cake.
Yeah, I love patty cake. Huh. Um, but yeah, so just some backstory. So after high school, I started, you know, I dated somebody, then I stopped, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go through my hoe phase.
After high school.
Yeah, it was like I think I was 20
Okay.
when that happened. I was dating somebody long term in like Michigan. I don't remember.
The
It wasn't good.
the
It was
question
for a
on your
year.
face of not knowing if it was in Michigan really got
I
me.
don't remember at all. It was somewhere north where there was fucking nothing going on. Um,
Shout out to Michigan.
yeah, what goes on in Michigan? What's in Michigan?
I know it's not in Michigan, and it's clean water. Everybody
Yeah,
donate to the Flint
exactly.
water crisis.
Yes, please. I feel bad for them very much so. But yeah, after that I stopped and then that's when I went through my hoe phase.
Hmm.
Hoe phase. I think I was with like one girl, I think, maybe. And we didn't like do anything. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21. Because I don't know. I for some reason I like to choose the girls who were like, I only want to do it after we get married. And I was
Ooh.
like, oh, okay. But I didn't be like, oh, that doesn't work for me. So I'm not gonna break up with you. Maybe you'll change your mind, which was a really dumb idea. Thanks for being a teenager, and that's just how I was. Um, to move the story along, I dated, and then I hoed around with like one person, met Kat, my fiance now, and got together. Then we did the deed for myself. And
You
then
fucking did it!
hell yeah. We were long distance for like a year or two though, and then we moved in. But that all comes around to I was pandemic happened. Pandemic happened, and I've heard this is a running theme. I went through and was like, why do I feel this way? And then I realized I was bi, and my fiance did the same thing. I think we came out together, and we were kind of worried about it. But I am very much a head first kind of person. So when I learned I was queer, I was like, all right, and I'll just run along with it and be like, I want to do this and this. I'm fucking prepared. Let's go. Let's do it. And yeah, I just went full force. And I think that was the first year of the pandemic. I was talking to Kat about it, and then I was bi. I don't think she came out until later about it. And then yeah, we learned we wanted to experiment with that. Um, I mean, that's pretty much my coming out story. It was like I came out to her, she came out to me, and then I came out to my parents, and this is where the story comes in about earlier with your dad and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. Or you dating other people, multiple people. I told my parents, they were like, that's fine. You know us. We don't care who you are.
Sure.
My parents are a little weird, and they're kind of back and forth on. That's a whole nother story for another day. But my mom told me that's fine, but just make sure if you're gonna bring other people into the relationship, just be careful. I was like, Mom, I didn't.
That's
just
like
because I'm
where
bi
your
doesn't.
parents jump to.
That's where my mom
Your
jumps to.
mom jumped to.
My mom's from California, Orange County, and she's like seen a lot of stuff growing up of like gay people and like, and she would like. I think she still had the stigma of like bi people are always just like I just want to fuck everybody. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not the case for everyone. For me, it might be, but that's not because of the stereotype. It's just because it's me.
Right.
But yeah, she was just like, just be careful and just I think she said wear protection or something like that.
How long had you been with Kat by this point? It's been like
So, what
three
was it? I
years
think it was
practically, right?
I think at that well, now we've been together for about 6 years.
Right.
But at that point, yeah, it was about I think 3. At least for as long as we moved out, I think it was 3 years. Something
What?
like that. And yeah, it made my fiance a little uncomfortable. I thought it was funny, but my mom says weird stuff
Sure.
sometimes and I love it.
What,
Yeah.
what was coming out to Kat like? Did you like have a discussion, like a sit down thing, or was it casual?
Well, I think she's always loved me. And I think
Or
she
has she
picked
been
up on,
known?
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think she was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going back to high school again, I was the one who made a lot of gay jokes
Mm-hmm.
about, fucking my friends who are dudes and like they're
Yeah.
like, oh man, that's like a dick. It's not gay though. It's like it's just funny. Or like flirting with my guy friends.
Mm.
Um, and I think that's where one of the points I mean it might maybe like got the ball rolling or me
Mm.
realizing that I was into guys. I had a friend who, of course, was an e-boy, an emo. Not e-boy, he was emo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was into him and I just thought it was me being
Mm.
like, God, he's so cool, and I like hanging out with him a lot. It's really fun to play video games with, and
Yeah.
just really want to hang out with him.
I love being a dude
And
bro with him.
it turns out, no, I'm into him.
Mm.
Cool, yeah. Um, and so I think I still made jokes like that when I was starting to date Kat with my guy friends.
Mm.
So it's like
She been
I think it
seeing.
was pretty obvious, and she did not care. She didn't care at all. I think the harder thing was actually when we were talking about, and this is another small coming out story because I don't know how comfortable she is about me sharing sexual stuff, but uh I think it was harder when we were discussing like BDSM and like sexual relationship
Mm.
stuff. Like that I feel like was probably harder than me
Interesting.
coming out as queer.
I did your gender euphoria, like, and your sexuality journey, were they like kind of in sync, or did you figure out one before the other?
That was later. I think that was about a year after.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when something happens, it just like it for me it goes like super fast. Um, and so I think it was a year after is when I learned that I was gender fluid.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I started growing out my hair and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I could see myself wearing a dress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, even in high school, again, high school, we had a dress sale for the choir. Because I was in choir. I was a choir queer. That's what we called us. And I wore a dress, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cute. I like it. Side note, I also got a mom to say like, he's got really nice arms.
Good. Because it's true.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think 40 pounds lighter than I am now at that point.
Now you're muscle.
Yeah, now I'm a muscle.
Muscle.
Um, but yeah, I think when I started getting long hair and looking at myself and like, I think I could be a woman too, because I was always like, I think the question that everybody has when they're like possibly gender fluid or trans is, God, I just want to like be able to switch between being a boy and a girl. I just want to see what it like feels like.
What it feels like.
Yeah, and it's like everybody would say like I just would like masturbate all the time because I bet that feel great. But like for me, I was like I just want to see what it's like to be a woman all the time. It sounds fun, but also terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, because how often are you femme presenting?
It's
Because I feel like your work uniform is pretty neutral, from what I can tell.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I think I have a video of me going femme to work, which was a fun thing to do because I've only done it once, not because I don't want to do it, it's because I'm lazy.
Yep.
I don't want to put on my boobs and a bra because I have fake boobs and I have a bra that I put on, and bras suck ass.
Yes.
I've gotten used to it though, and since I'm a muscular, it doesn't dig in as hard because I'm like just
Gut padding.
Yeah. The thing that sucks the worst, and I've done that, just started doing it recently with tucking, and that is why you got confused when you first met me, because that was actually the first time I ever tucked, and I was wearing a 2-piece bikini for the first time and tucking.
To clarify, it's not because I was looking at Harry's crotch. It's because Harry introduced themselves to me as Marci. It's not because I was like, no balls,
I don't see a penis.
no questions.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's because I was trying to be respectful, and I believe you might be the first gender fluid person that I've met. At least
we're very far and few in between.
Yeah, at least to the point where you're like more masculine and more feminine side. You go by different names. Because I think to a certain extent we're all, unless this is me realizing something about myself. But I mean, there are days where you want to dress up, and there are days where you want to dress down.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
That's kind of how I mean, I in terms of clothing style, I tend to go more androgyny. But like some days I'm like, oh, this would look better with a skirt, or this would look better with pants. But I think it's just like expression for me. I'm
the same way.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like, I just wear what I want. If it fits, and even if it doesn't fit.
Exactly. You know, too tight is never too tight. Fine. I mean, this is not to suck my own dick. Something that's humbled me and made me realize that I'm much more out there and open about stuff than I thought. There have been a few people, I'm not going to name names, that are like, I think even from Klexicon they've said, telling me that like, since you're so okay with like changing how you look to be fit like what you want to look like, that like pushed me to want to do it too and learn about myself. And I'm like, I always thought that was like somebody else bigger than me would do that for people, but it really just shows that you don't have to be a big ass influencer to like change people's lives.
Yeah. I mean,
and it makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's and again, that's like why, again, I don't get National Coming Out Day necessarily, but being open and vocal about who you are will help somebody else. Like, even if it's something small, like, I don't know, let's say hypothetically you're wearing that out, Harry, and they're like, oh, maybe I should wear more purple. It can be like as simple as that, like just finding self-expression, or like, oh, I like that tattoo, maybe I should get a tattoo, or Harry looks fantastic in 6-inch heels, what an Amazonian queen.
6'9", baby. I have had somebody ask that. It was nice. It was great. we were actually at a goth club the other week, and they had stripper poles, and my fiance Kat and then I went up on the pole and danced, and I actually had a girl come up to me and be like, "Thank you so much for dancing. That was awesome."
Yeah.
It was much more timid and like scared, as in like, "You're hot, thanks for doing it." And I was like, "You're welcome, thank you."
That's my type.
I was wearing a
tiny,
slit
timid
dress.
Women. Ooh.
Yeah, I got a new slit dress that goes like all the way up to here on my sides, and of course wearing my breasts and everything like that. And it was, yeah, it was really nice. And my 6-inch heels, of course. Those are the only heels I own, and you could thank Kat for that, because she got that for my first pair of heels I've ever worn in my life, and surprisingly, I can stand on them okay.
Some contrast between Harry and I, and one of the reasons I'm so glad to be doing this with Harry. The tallest heels I have, I think, are 1.5 inches, and they're a boot.
Nice.
I'm 5'9". I'm like, I don't need to be any taller. Meanwhile, Harry's like towering. I'm like,
I can be taller.
Yeah, I'm like, I actively hit my head on things all the time. I can't fathom being taller than this. It's the worst.
I have noticed too, side note, I think you're like me, and you don't recognize sometimes when people are like hitting on you or attracted to you. And the same goes for me as well. Or you ignore it, I don't know.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of people who've told me, and I think there were a few people at Clexion who told me too about you, that they were afraid to say that they found us like attractive. And I was like, why? No, we want to hear that. Tell us. I like to hear it. I don't know about you.
Frickin' who?
I'm not gonna spill the beans.
I love beans.
I know you like beans. I like beans too.
I've been having chili the past couple of weeks, bro. I love soup
so
season.
Good for you.
Not helpful.
Me too. I make some homemade chili, delicious. Oh.
And I do chili on top of, like, just not macaroni and cheese, just like noodles. And then I'll fry an egg. Put that on top. So good. That's probably what I'm gonna have after this.
I have not thought about that. Sorry, go on.
Anyway, so coming out.
Yeah. It's your second coming out story.
Do
you have a second one?
So, I feel like my second coming out story, I feel like I have to come out practically every time I date somebody.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, I wrote down that I had a coming out story with my ex-girlfriend, but I really don't remember having to, like, come out and be like, I'm dating this girl, just because I just started dating her. And I feel like maybe I had to tell my parents, where I was like, oh, because they were scheduling a trip down here. They were like, and I was like, oh, well, I am dating someone, so she'll probably be around. And they were like, oh, okay. But because I identify as queer, and we were kind of talking about this, to clarify, queer is such an umbrella term. It pretty much means someone who's not cis-het, from my understanding, and the term evolves as words do, but I identify as queer, and so I date and have crushes on what I think is a wide variety of people. Like, I was gonna like describe the people I've had crushes on, but it's with my roommates. One of my roommates has never been in a relationship, and the other one is Pan and Polly and E&M. And one day we'll have her on the podcast, because I have so many questions all the time.
Remind me what E&M is.
Ethically non-monogamous.
That's right, okay.
And so I've been hanging out with lesbians a lot recently. And so every time I find a mask, a presumably penis wielder attractive, I feel like I have to come out to them again. Because they're like, what?
Wielder.
You enjoy that? And I'm like, they're fucking hot. Like, yes, they're nice and they're
What are we, like, Jedi? And
yeah.
Like, oh, they're a penis wielder.
It's a sword in a sheath.
Yeah.
To get to, yeah. But sheaths can go together. So can swords.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, swords clash all the time.
And then, yeah, so, like, when we go out and I see, like, there's this event, monthly event that I love in Los Angeles called Dana's Night, where at the bar, I think the L Word or Shameless something, I go every month, and when I was there last time, I was flirting with one of the male barkeeps, several different women, and one of my trans friends. And
Nice.
I feel like I had to, like, the people I was with, they were like, what? You like them too? So it's like, anytime I express any enjoyment in another person, I feel like I have to come out.
That's fair.
Yeah, you as relationshiped, I don't know. And I don't know if that's common for people who like different people, but just right now, everyone in my life needs a label for me, and I don't have one.
I think we're opposite in a lot of that, like, because you don't like labels, and I don't know if it's necessarily because I like labels. It's just because maybe it's easier for me, but I have so many labels.
And I
many
like
labels.
that, and I respect that. If it's helpful for you, it's helpful, but for me, it's just, I don't think I've found a word quite that fits. Kat, your fiance, was like, oh, you sound like you're demisexual. And I'm like, actually, I think I'm just traumatized, and I don't want to have sex with someone if I don't know them.
Well, yeah, well, that's kind of how I am too. Because I am demisexual as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I am demisexual. So it's like I have to find somebody's cool to me and I like, which in my mind doesn't make sense of why you would have sex with somebody you don't chill with, but whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But I get more of an enjoyment if it's from somebody that I've been talking to for a little bit and I find them cool and we meld well. Yeah, and I totally get it. It's a little confusing and weird sometimes, but
yeah, I'm like, it's trauma. Not like
trauma.
it's trauma. It's not a preference. I'm like, bro, if I wasn't traumatized, I have no idea what I'd be like.
I feel like we're both traumatized, so I get it. That's probably why we're so good at this podcast.
Because humor is a coping mechanism. Also, to clarify,
I don't have a therapist, but if I did, they'd say that.
You have a podcast. You don't need a therapist. That's a joke. Go to therapy. But to clarify, for those of you potentially popping in, welcome to Queerdos, a podcast that I'm doing with my co-host Harry, talking about all things queer then and now.
It's a podcast I'm doing with my co-host, Emma.
It's a podcast Harry's doing with half a bottle of Stella Rosa.
Oh, it's finished now.
Does it make me an alcoholic that I can identify that bottle? We'll talk about that in the next episode.
You just like wine a lot.
I worked as a wine manager, so I know that bottle.
No, I didn't know that. It's only 5%, so it's like
oh, it's a dessert wine.
Ew, gross.
People mix it with. That's when people would come in and buy Stella Rosa and vodka. I was like, oh my god, these women party. Like, I was like,
I mean, I got some fucking I got some, what is it called? Amaretto alcohol liqueur, whatever it is. I poured like 2 shots of that and then just poured the Stella Rosa over it.
Mixed drinks. I mean, for a long time, my favorite drink was a Long Island iced tea because it has all the liquors in it, and it tastes like iced tea. To be fair.
Yeah, I know how to make it too. It's just really expensive.
Right.
And the alcohols.
But
so off. This is what you'll get from us going off topic all the time.
ADHD. But yeah, so
that's how we do.
It's So before we were talking about how I have to come out 1,000 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I'm having to over-justify myself. Because it already takes a lot for me to, like somebody and want to pursue something.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, it's a girl this time? Oh, it's a boy this time? Oh, it's a they, them this time? And I'm just like... The fact that it's another person, that's what we should be celebrating. That I am willing to open myself up romantically again. That's what we should be focused on. They're like, oh, you're dating a human instead of getting another dog. That's great. Like, that's what we should be focused on when it comes to my dating life.
I think it's the excitement of something new. And when you add more variables to it, it excites people.
I've no idea. I don't date as much as my roommates do. So I think that probably adds into it as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big flirt.
No.
What? Who said that?
No. We both are. That's what we do all the time when we message each other.
It's flirting. It's always flirting.
Very awkward.
JK,
in the best
unless
woo.
Ooh woo. And so I don't date a lot of people. I go on a lot of first dates. You download the dating app, you feel good for a second, schedule a bunch of stuff, and then you have to go on them. And then
or you're like me, which is like, I don't feel like it actually. Never mind, I'm gonna ghost them. I don't want these people on anything. I don't do that very often.
The queer community in Los Angeles is so fucking small that I'm like, I have to go. They'll probably be at the next event.
Is he really?
Have I not told you my connection?
I thought Los Angeles was like the gay hub of the world.
But I'm hanging out with queer women, going to queer events. So they're people I keep running into.
Fair.
So we're talking about coming out. Do you have any other of you coming out thoughts, Harry, or should we talk about the next thing?
I think I'll talk about when I first honestly just dressed as femme presenting.
Yeah.
Also, I will preface, I'm pansexual as well. I'm not bisexual anymore. I'm pan because I don't know. I fuck with everybody.
Harry likes the best of all worlds.
It's true. I really don't like being put in a corner or one thing. I like to be put in every category.
I like
the master of none.
I like the worst of all worlds. I'm working on it.
You need me to? I need to be your wing person. I can get you better. And then I'll slap you if you're like, no, bad, no, don't. That's bad.
Only if you promise.
Just kidding.
How was femme presenting for the first time?
I was saying pan because that was really not that big of a deal. I literally just told my fiance I was pan, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you like everybody? Yeah. When I was femme presenting, I wanted to make sure to go above and beyond all the way through, and that's how I am with most things. If I can't go all the way in, I just won't do it. If it's not full force, then I just don't really want to do it. So I went and bought fake breasts, which feel real, which is really funny when you're at a party and take them out and slap somebody with it. I've done that. I've also had a friend who, I think one of my birthday parties, they were like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna feel yours, and then I'm gonna feel mine, and then tell me the difference. Like, does it feel
Yeah.
different?" And then I did the same thing to her. It's like, "All right, now feel mine and feel yours and see if it feels the same." Like, all right. I mean, my fiance is right there, but
It's for
I was like, I don't
science.
care. Yeah, exactly. But the first time I think was when I went on a date with Kat. I decided that I wanted to finally wear a skirt and a shirt with
Mhm.
my breast on, which was very hard to do. I wanted to wear pants at first, but something was poking out, and that I did not want to be poking out, and for people not to know was there. So I decided to go with the skirt instead.
Mhm.
Little did I know the rules of a skirt.
Ooh, yeah, that's a learning experience for all skirt wearers.
Mm-hmm. So I learned if you want to sit, you cannot spread your legs open.
Did
You
you
can't
Marilyn
man
Monroe
spread.
all night?
Mm-hmm. And I had to cross my legs. I even went to D&D one time
Mhm.
and just decided to man spread, and then my friends were like, "No, Harry, you gotta know the rules. I can see up your skirt." It's like, oh, whoops.
Yep,
I don't think there's much to show. I was wearing boxer briefs, like I don't,
sure. Have
but I
you
get it.
mhm. Have you ever felt like you've had to come out as a queer couple? Because, like we've talked about, you all are straight passing.
I think we might have. It's
I'm thinking
usually
maybe
if it's
like your
somebody
first
that
lexicon, maybe?
maybe I
Because,
think. I mean, honestly, for the first time, I thought it was like I thought it was pretty fucking obvious since we're going to Klexcon.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, bad
but
example.
maybe people thought like,
Brought my token,
she was queer and
the token.
I'm straight.
Mm-hmm.
The stereotypical
The
like, oh, your
supportive,
girlfriend's bi,
the
but
supportive boyfriend. I
if
can't, I'm
anything,
gay. My bitch is gay.
I'm more flamboyant
Mm-hmm.
than her. No, I think even then though, because the first day I wore at ClexCon, the very first ClexCon I went to, I wore everything pink. I had a pink shirt on. I had white pants on. I think I had some nice boots, and then I glued pink horns and did pink makeup on my face.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think that's straight,
It is. It can be. To be fair, it
it's
can be.
it's true. It's true. It's
Um,
fair, but I
everything
think I
can be
tried to make it
straight and
obvious.
everything can be queer. IMO.
I don't
To a
remember her
certain extent.
name, but one of the ladies who ran Clexicon, one of the announcers,
Mm-hmm.
I think she liked wearing jumpsuits a lot.
Oh, that's Dana.
Dana, yeah, she walked in the hallway that we were in and saw me, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I like it. And
That's
just walked
Dana.
out.
Dana,
Like,
I
thanks.
don't know how to say her last name. It's got a lot of vowels. Piccoli, maybe?
I think it's Piccoli. I think she's told me that it was Piccoli
Yeah, she
when we
mods a
met.
lot at Lexicon.
Yeah. But that and then the next day I think I wore I was just trying to be as gay as I can throughout the whole thing. As queer
Yeah,
as I can
like
like
you
and
said,
everything like
full
that.
speed ahead.
Yeah, I was like, we're in Las Vegas. I don't think anybody gives a shit.
Not in Vegas.
People see weirder stuff than that. Like, I don't think anybody cares.
Absolutely.
Um, but I think that's like, yeah, it was just a date we went on. I think we went and watched a movie and then I came back and I was like, that was nice. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was nerve-wracking, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, it could be hard for anybody, but if you really want to do that, just do it and do it makes you comfortable. And if you can, do it with somebody that you trust and you like to do that with.
Yes.
Um, most people don't care. I can't say much for if you're like we said earlier, if you're in a
Small
small
town.
town and everybody knows each other.
Different countries.
Usually, that's not from what I've seen, queer friendly, and change is not
Mm.
in their vocabulary, but to each their own on each town.
Mhm.
But just do it, take it at your own pace. You know, maybe if you even want to wear what you want at home, around the house, and kind of get comfortable looking at yourself in that
Right.
attire and everything like that.
Yeah, start within your comfort zone. Like,
Yeah,
I love that
there's no
Harry
rush.
goes all forward, but like, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
whatever makes
fucking
you comfortable, safe, happy. That's all we
yeah.
ask.
Don't. It's fun for me sometimes, and it's nice, but like honestly, going full force all the time is not the best either.
Yeah.
It's like a high risk, high reward kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like it could turn out really good, or it could turn out like really bad, and people will just be dicks.
Right. Yeah, it's complicated, but we hope with podcasts like this, moments like these,
Yeah.
hoping to bring things forward.
Yeah.
Um,
What else do we want to talk about?
so the last thing we had scheduled was kind of quick, but it's like the era of coming out on YouTube.
Oh yes.
Um, I have a quote from a Huffington Post article from 2007 from Jamie. I don't know how to read. Brine. She was the director of YouTube Creators. She said, "Coming out videos are a special and important part of YouTube culture," which I thought was a weird thing to say. In terms of like a company declaring their culture when it's like,
Yeah.
when it, especially with YouTube, with like suppressing queer
Yeah.
content.
I remember
and,
that happening.
Yeah. But I think the sentiment is there. I think it's a nice sentiment. Like the idea is that the platform is supposed to be a safe place for coming out.
Yeah. And I mean, you're gonna have
Don't-
your trolls, but all in all, it was really big when that happened.
And that is from an article by Curtis M. Wong, credit where credit's due. And so I wrote down some of the impactful coming out stories that I saw on YouTube. I think I do a pretty good job of not comparing myself to other people. So I wasn't particularly like influenced by other people to like come out to like accelerate my queer journey or anything. Like I said, until I saw that girl, I didn't have a second thought about wanting to date women. But I don't know if you know about O2L. They were like,
I don't think I do.
there was this weird era of collab channels where it'd be a bunch of different people each posting on a different day. And
I do remember that. Like, there was a lot of it.
so Our Second Life was a big one. And
Oh, yeah.
the O2L boys.
Yep. Okay, I do know that. Never
I
mind.
think six white passing boys. Not all of them are white, but after the group ended, half of them have come out, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
Ricky came out as gay. I think he came out as bi first. Connor Franta's coming out video is like one of the most popular on YouTube because he came out like right after O2L ended, I think. So like in the height of his popularity. But one of the O2L boys, not an O2L boy, O2L woman, one of them came out as trans.
Nice.
Trevi Moran, artist, singer. And I just think it's so interesting that like their whole career was so based around like young women. For half of them to not be interested in that demographic, fascinating.
It's better than what usually happens is they turn out to be
It's true.
predators.
It's true. I And so those stories, I was a Oatville fan after the fact, but I thought that was interesting and worth bringing up when we're talking about coming out. And you brought up Dan and Phil.
Yeah. Can I side note actually really quick? Funny enough, I don't know if you heard about this, but like most of the guys in Mean Girls,
Yep.
like the main guys that they showed, all turned out to be gay.
All three gay.
Yep. They all turned out to be gay.
It's so
they've
done interviews together. It's hilarious. Like what? And the one who like played the queer character was the last one to come out,
which is funny to me, but whatever.
It's we all have our own time, but
hey, I think it's just hilarious.
Tina Fey's gaydar must be on point.
She can tell, man. She can tell. But yeah, Dan and Phil. So I didn't really watch Dan and Phil that much, but I do know when they had their coming out video, or at least, what was it, Dan, I think?
Dan had a huge coming out video, and then Phil also came out in his, like, bubbly way.
Yeah.
But it's like, after a hiatus, dropped this, like, 50-minute video
how he did it, everything. Yeah, how he did it and everything was really impactful to just like the YouTube mythos. And I mean, when that happened, I didn't really have many YouTubers that I followed that were coming out, I think. I mean, at that point, I was very much stuck in my way of just watching Game Grumps every single day.
Yep.
And maybe watching Markiplier. But I did hear all the time about other YouTubers and what's happening and stuff like that. And it was just amazing to see, and made me feel more comfortable about being gay. And I mean, I have fear of like how the country happens, where it's going all the time, but honestly at this point I don't think there's a turning point to go back on that. Because with the internet, and especially YouTube and all these channels and just all of these different places that you can post what you want, you can't keep people from being gay anymore, especially with how smart kids are now. All these old farts trying to change things back, it's just not gonna work. It's like people are gonna come out as gay more and more.
Yeah, we've definitely opened a door, and I think we are speaking from a place of privilege, because it is blatantly not safe to come out.
No.
In lots of places of the world, you will be killed, should you even be suspected of being queer. And that's horrible and terrifying and heart-wrenching. But people are fighting for their right to be themselves, and in an optimistic way, I agree with you. We can't shut the door anymore. Like, the resistance is there, but the hope and kindness of the queer community is stronger. It's a fight that might even last longer than our lifetime, but I think you and I are both optimistic that we are going aggressively in the right direction.
And I think, like you said, privilege and everything like that, but we, again, since we have the internet and we can keep informed so well, we can see the stories of people who are having to deal with this crap, like, that they really shouldn't. But I think now, especially since I have a feeling, and this is, I guess, just usually how it goes, but kids nowadays know how to use the internet better than probably most people.
Definitely me, for sure.
And me, like shit, I don't know how to use the internet very well. Like, but I feel like they're going to they figure out how to contact people, talk to people, get together easier because there's just so many avenues and ways to be able to do that. And so I just don't think, but going back to Dan's video, I think that's really, I feel like it was becoming popular and more people to be able to tell each other that, like, hey, it's okay to be queer.
Yes.
But I think when that video happened, I think that just opened the door And things like Eugene Yang's video from Try Guys
Yep.
when he did that. Huge thing as well. And I mean, we could talk all day about how impactful it, because even in the political sphere, like, people being able to, like, tell people, hey, this is happening.
Right.
It's just huge. And it just makes me feel good that, like, people can post videos and feel comfortable and not afraid to be like, yeah, I'm this. And
Right.
maybe there will be trolls in the fucking comment section saying, like, oh, you know, but who cares?
I mean, it's like bringing it back. It's all about visibility. And the internet is so queer. Like, so queer. Do you think that content creators have, like, an obligation to come out to their audience?
Personally, I don't think creators have any obligation to really do anything other than give the content that they want to a person. I mean, that's probably why, like, you know, people probably guessed that Dan and Phil were gay, queer, whatever. But, like, they didn't have to do that if they didn't want to.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, they were still going, and people would just say the same thing, no matter if they said they were or not. But they understood that it made an impact. But no, I don't think any creator really has to give really anything except for the content. I think nowadays, if there are things you're hiding that you're afraid people should know that are, like, damning evidence, I think people are going to figure it out either way.
Right. How do you feel about people being presumptuous of celebrities' sexualities? So I'm asking because Taylor Swift just released her new album Midnights last night, and lesbian TikTok was obsessed that this was going to be her coming out album. Like, accounts blowing up to, like, hundreds of thousands of followers because they were, like, analyzing all of the track lists and, like, why this was going to be this. They were, like, looking at tweets and all this, and I can't say one way or another wise. I listened to the album. I thought it was cryptic. I thought she said nothing, but there was a lot of emotion in it. And so I had definitely fallen into the, like, oh, she, like, yeah, I'm convinced. And I am a Larry. I don't know if you know that. One Direction, Larry Stylinson. I believe it with my whole heart. But there is a part of me that feels guilty for, like, presuming sexualities on these people. And
I get where you're coming from. I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily, as long as you don't get, like, harassing about it, you know?
I agree.
Because I think and that's why people, like, celebs are celebs, people presume a lot about them, but they think they know the person, but, like, you can't know any celebrity how they actually are, because you only see their persona.
Right.
So to an extent, I think it's fine. I think it's when people get obsessive and they're like, I'm going to dig into this person's personal life and try and figure it out myself.
Right.
And it's like, that's not cool. Yeah. Like, if that makes you more comfortable to realize something about yourself, I don't really see a problem with it, per se. I mean, me and my fiance, Kat, talk, like, we're not serious, but we make jokes about it. Like, I bet they're gay, or I could see them being queer or whatever, but I don't, like, I'm not like, yeah, no, they're definitely that. And if somebody brings it up, I'm like, no, they're this.
Yeah, it's like, no, I
don't think anything's wrong.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's like, I love Larry Stylinson. I wish the best for both of them, but they are my comfort videos. But I'm also not gonna, like, promote an agenda about someone else's life.
Yeah.
But it's...
Excuse me really quick, my small bladder is calling again.
It's Emma time. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to transition to the next topic then. Because, you can't tell me not to. Yeah, Adeline, that's what we're talking about coming out today. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today, wrapping up the podcast, is how it's trendy to be queer right now. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but all these like TikTok lesbians, TikTok queers, it goes viral really easily, and I'm wondering if it's transitioning into spectacle, because I do think it starts innocently enough, but I mean, ultimately, like, being queer is not like, it's not a show, it's not like a performance, but people are making it one on TikTok, and I'm curious about why do you think it's trendy to be queer right now, and how does that make you feel, I guess?
I've had a feeling that it's because it's been so taboo, quote unquote taboo, for the longest time. And now that more and more people are coming out and saying it's okay, more and more people are like, oh, well, I could be queer too. And then they'll like make it their whole persona for a little while or something like that.
Yeah, Adeline has a good point with corporate gays during Pride Month.
Oh, yeah.
What do you... I mean, I think kind of like with what the YouTube quote was, I appreciate the sentiment. I don't like that it's like something they're trying to profit off of, but like, you can celebrate inclusion year round. It doesn't just have to be June.
Yeah, I will say though, I think it does suck and it's, shitty, but sadly, money makes the world go round. And if they weren't doing this, I have a feeling that, let's say something were to happen big for like against the queer community, I feel like it would be a lot harder for companies who at this point pretty much run America and the world. So no matter what happens in the government, I feel like if you have brands and companies saying like, hey, fuck you, otherwise I'm not selling at your place. If they weren't profiting off of being gay and queer and continuously do, if something were like that to happen, I feel like we would have less of... Oh, no!
My bad! Keep going! I knocked everything over all at once. That's my bad.
It's okay. It's just scary.
Yeah, I didn't move. Keep talking. My bad.
I think if it wasn't for that happening, I feel like we would have less of fighting chance because, I'm
not very good
corporate
at cable
world.
management. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. The corporate world wouldn't be as much on our side because they would be like, oh, well, you're not profitable, so we're not going to help you. Oh, for a second I thought you weren't wearing pants. I'm like, Emma, what the fuck?
Oh, these are my pink pants. My pink
And then I realized they were pink. And I'm like, oh, you're not pink.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Did you hear anything I said?
Nope.
No, keep talking. I can hear you.
I lied.
What I was saying was I feel like since these companies can profit off of it, it sucks and it's very capitalist. But if something bad were to happen to the community, if we didn't have these companies that were like, oh, they're profitable, so we should really try and keep them around, I feel like we would have less of a fighting chance.
I mean, the queers can build a brand. Like, you can build a...
Yeah. They could sell.
I mean,
like, look at all these makeup brands.
Well, I'm thinking about Fletcher. She's an artist. fucking on the backs of the queer community. Because Becky's So Hot went dummy viral. She was on, like, I think Jimmy Fallon, talking about her ex-girlfriend. But I worry in terms of corporate queer trendiness. I worry, and I think it is right now, kind of in the same vein as, like, Christmas and, like, Halloween. It's, like, the gay season in June. Like...
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, but I like to think of that like that's the big spectacle, but if you look at what's smaller and like how many people are believe that they're gay or queer or lesbian or whatever, from that, I think fly's been undone. Um, you can't see it, but um, I think it still has an impact, and I think
I
it's sad to
agree.
say, but I think there's so many people that when you go to a store and you're like, oh, they have gay stuff, queer stuff.
Right.
Okay, that's not that big of a deal. Like you have a fucking Target mom that goes in and like, oh, good for them.
Right.
I think it makes it less scary.
I would be curious to see during June where the pride displays are based on state. Like, based on, like, voting districts. Like, I'm curious if, like, small town Walmart has a pride display, even though, like, the rest of the Walmarts do. You know?
So I actually have a little bit of experience with this, weirdly enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Tell me.
we have a friend. Oh, we have a friend in another Discord that I'm in, from apparel line named Apari that I've been following for a very, very long time. And I have a friend who actually lives in Texas. They're about 2 hours away, and they live in a small town called Kilgore, Texas. Good luck finding that because it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. But um, they we went to a little shopping center that they had, and there was a Spencer's. It's a really small town.
But they still have dispensers.
Oh, of course. And we went to the Spencer's, and of course they had like all this other stuff, but they had a gay apparel booth or display case in the back next to all the sex toys.
Yeah.
And I was like, that really I'm not surprised in the slightest.
I'm surprised it was there. Like, period.
Right?
There's, like, in the with the dildos.
At least from that small town, from what I saw, it was very much like half and half of just like, because we were just going there to visit. And it was like half the people like dyed hair and like whatever, and then the other half is like, you could tell it's like Trump's the best.
Yep.
He's our Lord and Savior. You can tell.
Yes. The special breeds. But isn't the old fart senile? Yeah. Oh, we've mentioned it a couple times. We're streaming this. We stream the podcast before we put it other places.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes we're responding to people in chat. Sometimes, and if you want to join us, follow on Instagram.
And share us around everywhere. Tell your friends. Let them know about the gospel that is us.
The gospel. Your Lord and Savior, Queerdos. So, with all of that, do you have anything else?
I think I want to ask you because you've been asking me the questions. I think I want to ask a question for you. Well, like we both, or you grew up in a big city,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
LA.
I grew up in Nashville.
Um.
I'm from
Oh, that's
Nashville.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
Which is
blue,
a big city too.
big blue city in a very red state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same way. Dallas is the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
Um. But I didn't actually grow up in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas per se. I grew up in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. So, I guess from growing up from like big cities and everything, what was it like early 2000s, when it was like
Mm-hmm.
it, you know, saying that's gay was normal to like saying that was stupid or something. That was
Yeah.
normal. What was it like in like a big city? Because where I grew
Mm-hmm.
up, that was like normal, or in a
Mm-hmm.
small town, nobody thought twice and nobody was like, oh, who's a gay? And if there we had like
Right.
one or two queer kids.
So I genuinely don't remember hearing anything like that. Is it the trauma? Who's to say? But my Sharon, my mom, her best friends were a lesbian couple. Um so from a very early age, I was like, it's probably their fault I'm queer because I was like, oh look, a healthy working relationship.
Wow.
You have to do that between two women.
It's
Um,
kind of a similar situation.
um, but in terms of like growing up, I went to. My sister would probably have a better answer for that because I went to private school from middle to high school. And I don't think I heard very much of that. People are mean in different ways, but not in terms of like slurs. Um, but I heard people use the R word a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Got a lot there.
like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I called people out on it by my senior year. I was starting to grow a spine. Um,
Yeah. And
um,
I still have met people who say that.
I don't think that I heard people use gay as a slur because I think everybody thought I was gay. So they didn't want to offend me. Because I was a softball player. So I learned that everybody had just thought I was gay since like 5th grade. Um, when I was dating my high school boyfriend. Bad dude. But,
Yeah.
and then my sister and I are both biracial, which already put tension at the small town Thanksgivings. So I think people were always just like a little more hesitant around us because they weren't used to black people. Or people of color, period. So I think I was a very, very unique situation. Like, I'm hoping to have my best friend Brian on the podcast, and he also grew up in Nashville around the same time. And he went to a Christian K through 12 school. And I know we have talked about how often people would throw like the F slur and like around. So I think it was just a very, very unique situation where I just didn't hear insults very much, or at least like low grade. Let me say low grade insults. It was more like attacking your character. Not
Yeah.
here, not um,
Not what you identify as.
right, yeah. And again, we did have the GSA or GLSEN, the Gay Straight Alliance in high school. Um, so it was like it was trying to be a little more progressive, but yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't anything. I don't think.
Very interesting.
Right?
Because I know surprisingly a lot more people that went to private school than I thought. Catherine, fiance, she went to private school for a little while. Um, Christian, of course. And yeah, I guess it was kind of similar. But I've been to public school my whole life, and I think my high school was very. My high school was like a sitcom high school. You had all the different cliques, you had all the different things going on. We had drug dealers, of course. We had just weird shit happening all the time. And our school was like a perfect mesh of every kind of person you can think of in one school. And
what was your graduating class?
I think we were. I don't remember. I think we were like 1,400.
97.
Damn.
Right. Yes.
Damn.
So it's like, and we were across the street from a college, so it's like it was very.
Damn. Yeah. No, we were across the street from middle school and elementary school. No, for us in the public space, it was all over the place. I mean, especially growing up when you can go into a Call of Duty game lobby and hear all of that shit. That was like peak time because you had YouTube, which was
I mean
really spurred that on.
Yeah, disgusting. Like
But yeah, I had so many kids that would say the R word, F word. They wouldn't say it in like a mean way. They would say it in like a joking way, but like they thought it was normal.
Yeah, I feel like I heard the R word more than anything. Like thinking
I think
back
I did
on it.
Too. Yeah.
Cause did your class go through like an aggressive Adult Swim phase? Like as a unit?
I think so. I mean,
right. Like I didn't, but like it just felt like it was a switch, and like all the fucking dickhead, no friend boys and all like the sport boys just like threw it around like nobody's business.
I mean, at the time, I thought because they would like use the argument that like we're not like saying it in like a mean way, like we're saying it in like it's just like
it is what
a word that means this and yada yada. But like
trying to validate their.
Well, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I would choose not to use it myself because it just felt wrong and weird. And my sibling would try and be like, don't ever say that.
Yeah.
My older sibling, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the oldest. I just, and I'm still like this to this day. I just don't use words I don't know the meaning of. And
yeah, same.
I didn't know what it meant, but I didn't like the tone that came with it. I'm very tone sensitive. I'm a tone baby, and it was always derogatory. So I was like, no. Like,
yeah, like I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like it's also very lowbrow humor.
Yeah, I think that was it
so
too, and that's why I never watched that shit.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was like, people would be like, oh, and I'm like,
why is that funny?
I was like, I must have missed something. Like, and I didn't. There was never a point where it was funny. So I was right. Good job, 9-year-old me.
Same. I've never found even when classmates would tell me like, oh, look at this, and they would like just I don't know, scream at the top of their lungs and say like slurs, and they would laugh their asses off, and I was like, I think this is funny. Like,
It's like, I
I've always
don't...
been a. Go ahead.
No, I don't get it. But I do love the penis game. In terms of
Oh, me
screaming
too.
things at the top of it. That one's good. So,
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, that I was really good at that in high school.
oh yeah, me too. Um...
What penis game are we talking about?
um,
um,
yeah.
I've always been a big proponent of comedy is one of my passions. I
Mm-hmm.
really like making people laugh, and I think it's fun. And
Mm-hmm.
even when I would watch comedians and whoever I would enjoy on YouTube, I would try and pick up on like how they would come off and say jokes and how to make a joke and stuff like that. And whenever the classmates showed me these videos, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, why do you find this funny? Is it like why we just inherently find farts funny? It's just like involuntary or something?
E- I think it's. I think sometimes laughter is even a panic reaction.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't get it, but. Oh, at least that's for me. Laughter is a panic reaction. Um. But yeah. Well, that took a
Yeah.
dramatic. That took a dramatic turn. I appreciate that question, though. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I just thought it's interesting. I like learning about other people's experiences with like
Yeah,
how the fuck
it's not.
it feels to be in a large town too compared to a small town. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we
because.
could talk more about our high school stuff and my weird ass high school and on a different podcast or episode because
Oh,
I got
yeah.
stories.
Because my parents, my dad's family is from, like, it literally ranks as one of, like, the most racist counties in America, like,
Oh,
regularly.
that's like a sundown town kind of thing.
It's just, you know, I don't think about it until, like, until I was older, because we would just go to my grandma's house, no, and
Yeah.
go nowhere else, right? But, like, the whitest fucking place. And then Sharon's parents also were like, I think the town hit 1,000 people when I was like 12.
And
So like I would go from like Nashville to like really ignorant places. Um, yeah, and
yeah.
I would have to think more about that. But yeah, we could tell a high school. Oh boy, a high school
Like,
story.
yeah.
I
High school
got
was fucking weird.
I got my stories for sure.
Still friends with some of them from high school. Man,
Yeah,
odd.
some of my I did a group project with in French with the same group for years, and two of them are out here. We're all queer. I don't know about the one who's still in Nashville, but uh, yeah, one of my friends. I was like, I didn't know you were queer. You only date boys, and she was like, yeah, and I'm like, what? Um, what? I would have invited you to all these.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to a queer party tomorrow, and I'm just like, what? Like,
My God.
like since when?
I mean, that's why I'm excited to go to my 10-year reunion. Not because I just want to go. I want to see how many people have come out and have been like, "Oh, yeah, I'm queer."
I'm so hot now. I'm so much hotter than I was in high school.
Same.
That's
I
why
wish
I
I
want to
could
go.
show. I wish I could show my driver's license photo, and you can see what I look like when I was younger.
Maybe that will
Wonder
be
if I could
next
do that
year.
without showing any information that'll fuck with me
Do it?
forever.
Not while we're live.
Probably, yeah, probably. Maybe I'll find some photos of what I used to look like, but
Yep.
I was not.
Don't dox yourself. It's a good point of advice there.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
So, I believe that
Yeah. How
wraps
long
up
was?
about 2 hours. 2 hours and some
Damn.
seconds.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
I thought of this idea in the middle of this, so no pressure if you don't have anything. But is there any queer like book or show or person or business or anything that you want to like shout out?
Ooh.
I can go
Queer.
first since I sprung this on you, if you want.
Yeah, if you could, because I believe I have a few. I just gotta think of them.
So I'm gonna suggest a website. Actually, I'm going
Nice.
to suggest autostraddle.com.
Mhm.
It is the only independent queer news site. It's like fully dedicated to queer news. One of my good friends writes for it, and I followed them on Instagram, and they just published a like how to find queer authors. So Autostraddle breaks down lots of queer stuff. If you're looking for modern queer stuff, autostraddle.com.
Nice. Oh, yeah, I have one. We've talked about them plenty before. If you want a good nonprofit that's for streamers, queer streamers, and businesses, go to Queerty Streams. They're on Twitch. I think they have their own website too. But they actually make grants and work with queer artists and celebrities and stuff like that. Smaller celebrities. I don't think they've had like huge ones or anything, but they make grants. They work with small businesses. I'm working with them and they're working with me and getting my product out with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they do fundraising stuff all the time with streamers, queer streamers. They're called Queerty, QWEERTY. And
Yeah, it's almost your keyboard with an extra
yeah,
E.
yeah, it is. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Probably.
Probably.
Because it's like nerd queer stuff. Queerty Gamers. Yeah, I've thought about trying to work with them, and then I don't.
I'll send them your information. Yeah.
And your driver's
You can
license
actually
photo.
you could join there. I'll send you the Discord link to them if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah.
You. So, yeah. Sorry to spur that on you, but I thought it would be kind of fun to shout out.
Yeah, no.
Weird shit at the end of the podcast.
I think that's cool.
Thank you so much.
I need to reach out to more.
Yeah. Now we gotta go find queer stuff. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah.
Harry.
Thanks for talking with me.
It's always a pleasure. I am upset you didn't share any Stella with me, but we will fight in the parking lot after this to settle our differences.
You're probably gonna kick my ass.
After all your protein shakes.
Yeah, and I have 9 years of martial arts experience.
I'll win.
Yeah, you're gonna kick my ass. I believe in you.
I believe in the heart of the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the inaugural episode of Queerdos.
Welcome to the family, everybody.
Welcome. If you're here, you're queered. I made that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. Follow us on Queerdos Podcast. On Instagram and TikTok. And you'll see clips
we're gonna
there.
hopefully try and get it on other streaming services at some point.
So you can listen.
But we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with
one
us
less.
today.
Stay hydrated or die straight. Or hydrate or die straight.
Hydrate. What a sign off. Hydrate or die straight.
I don't know who I got that from, but I'm pretty sure it's taken, but I'll use it anyways.
I got it from a priest on TikTok. A gay priest.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Well, I love you all, and I love you. I will talk to you guys later.
XOXO Gossip Girl. Bye, everybody.